Hello. I want to tell you about something that happened quite a few years ago, a long time ago. We were in our church van and we were going on an outing somewhere, and Bill was driving, and I was in the passenger seat, and behind us, on the bench seat behind us, were some people who were going with us on this venture, and we didn't know them very well. They were new to our church, weren't sure who they were that well, but they were coming with us. So while we were driving down the road, I would turn around and talk to them, and we were chatting and talking. And at one point, I knew I needed to blow my nose, so I turned around to the front and I got a tissue and I blew my nose. Well, when I blew my nose, I knew that some snot had come out my nose. And when I was done, I looked at the tissue and I didn't see any snot. I didn't know where it went. But whoa, what was I gonna do? Okay, anyway, so I turned around and I finished talking to my friends in the back seat, chatting away, and then I wanted to say something to Bill, who was driving. So I said, "Hey, Bill," and he turned and he looked at me and he went, "Oh, yuck, what's that? Oh, what's on your chin? Yuck." And I looked in the visor mirror and there was this big wad of snot on my chin, and I didn't know it was there. The thing is, when I was talking to my friends in the back seat, nobody said anything to me about it. They all knew it was there. They saw it, but they didn't say anything. But Bill, who knows me and loves me, he pointed it out to me so that I could get my face cleaned up. So I didn't go around with snot on my chin the rest of the day. So he told me, now why is it that they didn't say anything and Bill did? The difference is that Bill loves me and Bill wanted to take care of me. These people in the back seat didn't love me. They didn't really even know me, and they felt really awkward and embarrassed to have to say something to me, so they didn't say anything. So there are times in our lives where God has to say things to us that we really don't want to hear. It's like the snot on the chin. We don't want to be told it's there because we don't want to believe that it's there. But God, because He loves us, will tell us what we need to know. He will tell us what we want to be in denial of. He will tell us about the sin in our heart and the sin in our life because He wants us to change. The sin that's in our life affects our relationship with God. And He doesn't want our relationship affected. He wants us to get rid of the sin. So God uses tools to show us what we need to see and don't want to see. This is a magnifying glass. It magnifies things. It brings things in closer so that you can look at things and really see it. This is a makeup mirror. So it has a light here. You can plug it in and this all lights up, and this mirror here is magnified so that when you look at yourself in the makeup mirror, in this magnifying glass mirror, you see things. You see things up close that you need to see, you need to fix, you need to take care of. Maybe a hair that's growing, or a blemish, or a zit, pimple, a scab, something that you don't want other people to see and you need to take care of. So God uses magnifying glasses, and He looks at us and He says, I see something here. We need to take care of this. And then He will tell us about it. There are so many stories in the Bible where God told people the things that they didn't want to hear, but they needed to hear, they needed to know because their relationship with Him was being affected. The whole Bible's filled with stories about these people. I'm going to tell you about two. We're going to start at Genesis chapter 4, Cain and Abel. Cain did not want God to come talking to him, but God said, "Cain, what are you doing? You need to know that you're ready to screw up, and I don't want you to screw up. Cain, I need you to deal with this." He said, "Sin is crouching at the door, and it wants to take you." You know what Cain did? Didn't want to listen to God. He went through with his plans. He sinned, and then afterwards went, "Oh, what did I do?" He says, "I really screwed up." He said, says in Genesis chapter 4, he says, "I shall be hidden from your face, God." And that's true. He got banished, and his relationship with God was affected by it. David, King David, loved the guy, great guy, man after God's own heart. But when he went into that adulterous affair with Bathsheba and got her pregnant, and he needed to cover it up, he had her husband Uriah killed. He had him murdered. And then he went into denial, and then he pretended like it never happened. But that wasn't good enough for God. God wasn't going to let David get away with that because it was affecting his relationship. So God sent Nathan the prophet to David, and he said, David, you screwed up. And I know what you did, and I know that you screwed up. And David knew. David repented, and David felt horrible. In Psalm 51, you can read and see how David felt. He said, God, have mercy on me. I really screwed up. And he knew, David knew, that this affected his relationship. Because God had taken the magnifying glass and he said, David, you know what I see? Here, David, look in the makeup mirror. Look, and see that you screwed up. So David did. When we go to Psalm 139, David talks about how this whole thing had affected his relationship with God. And he says to God, God, search me, God. I'm giving you permission. Take that magnifying glass, God, and search me and look and let me know if there's anything else. Let me know if there are things that I need to know about, because God, I don't want our relationship affected by this, by my sin. Search me, Lord. Search me. Let me know what you find. Search me. Something about this is familiar. Oh, I know. This is Jesus hanging on the cross for us.